Hey everyone, RogueGold here. You may have been unaware, but over the past 48 hours, the game has been heading towards one of its biggest potential catastrophes in maybe the history of the franchise. But that said, the devs just made a decision that saved the entire thing. And in fact, I think it's one of the best decisions that they've made ever. So, I want to talk about it. To get into it, you may have seen this video from me earlier in the week back on Tuesday. I was talking about the new stretch goals feature that was added in this week's update to the game, and while we didn't know it to begin with, you actually had a small chance to pull raid and otherwise exclusive exotics from the caches available in this new system. So that was pretty cool. I mean, people had their mixed opinions about that even being a thing. I think that once the drop rates came out, people are a bit more accepting of it because it is still pretty slim to get it. What was not mentioned though, and what I did not realize at the time of making that video, was that you could purchase these levels with premium credits, with real currency. In the very same way that you can spend to purchase season pass levels if you choose to, you could do that here as well. Now, I just want to state, for the record, this was 100% my fault that I missed that. I saw the UI in the bottom where it said purchase levels, and I just assumed that that was a holdover button from ranks 1 to 100, right? But that was not the case. Yesterday is when people really began kind of catching on to this. I saw conversations starting to explode about it across different social medias, and I was getting comments on my own videos of people saying that they were spending 50, 100, 200. I had somebody comment, I don't know if they were trolling or not, saying they spent $1,100 on trying to get these Brooklyn caches in the hopes, purely, of pulling one of these rare exotics that they didn't have. And once I started to see all of that, that's when I went, oh, shit. This is a problem. Not only do I believe that it was fundamentally flawed to have the ability to purchase these stretch goals levels to begin with, it really made no sense when they should be a moment about community gathering and hype for what's coming next. But if you were going to allow purchasing, which again I think is fundamentally flawed and should never happen, but if so, the rollout of it was horrible, where the drop rates for those items that people were specifically going after in the caches, those were not available anywhere until more than 24 hours after this had gone live into the game, and even then, the drop rates were not available in the game. You had to go to the Trello board and look at the patch notes to see them. And so in that amount of time before those were posted, you had people buying these caches with real money without even knowing that these exotics only had a 0.5% drop chance. And look, I'll play devil's advocate. I don't think that you can say that the people who are choosing to spend dozens, hundreds, thousands of dollars on this are 100% without blame, but no question, the game is far more responsible for even making that a possibility. So I actually went to bed last night having prepared to go scorched earth in a video today. I was really displeased to learn that this was supposedly an intentional feature, and I just wanted to express my distaste for this kind of direction that the game was apparently showing. Thankfully, however, when I woke up this morning, everything had changed. So just a few hours ago from when I'm sitting down to make this video, the team over on Twitter posted this. Agents, after a thorough evaluation, we've decided to disable the option to buy season levels in the season pass until the end of the season. While this feature was intended to help players with seasonal progression, it has been used in unintended ways after the addition of the new stretch goals. This situation was not anticipated by the team, and we will reassess the synergy between these two features to ensure the community can get the best of both, in future seasons. In the meantime, you can still level up naturally and earn all the rewards until the end of the season, benefiting from other features like the XP event. Thank you for your understanding and continued support as we work to improve your experience, the Division 2 team. Phew. Huge sigh of relief to wake up and see this, honestly. And I just wanted to highlight a few good reactions that I saw. Mav, around here, which I'm sure many of you know who Mav is, said, when the devs put their franchise's community over their publisher's portfolio, bravo, GG, well played, applause, much appreciation. And it's true. I mean, I'm sure if you go and look at, revenue amounts for the game day by day, if you look back in a month at the chart, I'm sure that yesterday and Tuesday had a huge spike in how much revenue they were earning. I mean, people were dropping money trying to get these exotics out of the caches, and I'm sure someone at Ubisoft is going to be like, hey, add that back in, you were making money. But it is simply crossing a line that, in my opinion, I never want to see the Division games, at least the mainline ones on console and PC, ever cross. Another good take here I saw over on Twitter from Rallyman, who said, as someone who develops software, not video games, when you're deep in the programming weeds, it's hilariously easy to miss things that appear completely obvious to outsiders. And he's referring to how you could buy these, and the dev said they didn't intend for that to happen. I appreciate the rapid response on the issue, which shows they either care about this themselves or know we care about it enough to correct it at the expense of profit. I know a lot of folks aren't thrilled with the pivot to selling outfits in the store, but it's nice to know that paid loot boxes are a hard line, at least. And I agree with this sentiment 100%. So, that's the end of that. thankfully. I certainly hope they mean it when they say that this was completely an oversight, and I know they go on to talk about evaluating the best way to handle this in the future. I think it's pretty simple. If people want to buy season pass levels to get to rank 100, that's fine, but stretch goals should not be a paid feature whatsoever. It should strictly be down to gameplay, and I think that pretty much eliminates all of your issues there. For anyone who may ask, how is that any different than buying season pass levels to begin with, again, up to rank 100? The difference is the season pass has no randomness to it. Right? The rewards you see on the track are the rewards that you get, and there's a fixed endpoint at rank 100. I think it's silly, honestly, to buy season pass levels unless you're coming in like at the very end of a season and you're like, I need that cosmetic on rank 100 and I'm not going to get it by just playing the game. Then sure, you can make your own decision, but in a 4-month season, it's very easy to get to rank 100 in the pass by just playing the game. And again, there's a fixed endpoint. The difference with these stretch goals levels is that they're infinite, and buy the cash is only offering a 0.5% chance for the items that most people really want. Sure, maybe you could get really lucky by playing for an hour or two, unlocking a few, and you get that one item you really want, but you're going to have a far greater chance if you just open your wallet, drop 20, 50, 100 bucks, open those caches, maybe you'll get one from there. But this is gone. I'll drop it. I want to say thank you to the team for a very quick response on this. Again, I really hope it is not something that we see in the future. Putting the paid aspect of the stretch goals feature aside, that's part of why I was so annoyed by this, because I actually think these new stretch goals are awesome. When first presented, I thought that the new vanity stuff they were adding would be distributed guaranteed on your first 101 to 110 progression, but to make them chance-based, to have a bit of grind and RNG tied in, I feel like I'm back in the Division 1, baby. I know not everybody is a fan of this method of progression. Personally, it's my favorite. I love grinding for something that is really hard to get and that satisfaction you feel when you finally do get it. And to top it all off, the grind isn't just tied to Shade experience, but it's tied to your season pass XP, which means that engaging with and playing the priority objective system is one of your most efficient ways to go through it. And me personally, that is one of my favorite grinds in the game at the moment, simply because of the varied types of game content that is encouraged. Again, before stretch goals, that was really only relevant the first week or two of the season if you're really playing consistently to get to rank 100, but given this is an infinite system, this means that these last weeks of the season, I can just do that as much as I want, and I'm still going to get rewards the entire time. So again, aside from the paid aspect, which was terrible, I'm having so much fun with these. Maybe we'll discuss that more in a future video. For now, however, disaster has been averted with them removing the pay-to-win element of this, and so yeah, other than that, it's another good day in the Division 2. That's all I've got, folks. Really just wanted to hop on here and discuss what had been going down in the community in case you were not aware. I would be super curious to get your guys' thoughts on this entire situation. What is your reaction if you were not aware to knowing that you were able to pay for these to begin with? What do you think about them removing it? What do you think about raid exotics being included in these caches overall? I mean, again, it's a pretty divisive thing, but we'll talk about it. Looking forward to see what you guys have to say. So until next time, RogueGold out.